After Adam and Eve were cast out of paradise, they began their life outside the Garden of Eden. Adam knew his wife Eve, and she gave birth to 2 sons. The first was named Cain. The second was named Abel. Cain became a tiller of the ground, working the soil and growing crops. Abel became a shepherd, caring for flocks of sheep. The 2 brothers lived in the same family, but their hearts would soon take very different paths. In time, Cain brought an offering to the Lord from the fruit of the ground. Abel also brought an offering. But Abel brought the firstborn of his flock and their finest portions. The Lord looked with favor upon Abel and his offering. But Cain and his offering were not regarded in the same way. Cain became very angry and his face fell. God saw what was happening in Cain's heart, and the Lord said to him, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen?" God warned Cain that he had a choice. If he did what was right, he would be accepted. But sin was waiting at the door, and its desire was toward him. Yet Cain was called to rule over it. Cain spoke to Abel, his brother. Then Cain said, "Let us go out into the field." And when they were in the field, Cain rose against his brother Abel. His anger and jealousy had consumed him. And Cain killed Abel. It was the first murder recorded in human history. The first brother had killed the second. The tragedy that began with the fall of Adam and Eve had now become even darker. Sin had not only separated humanity from God, it had turned brother against brother. But God saw what had happened. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" Cain answered, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God already knew. The Lord said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Cain had believed that his actions could remain hidden, but nothing is hidden from God. Because of his sin, the ground would no longer give Cain its strength. He would become a fugitive and a wanderer upon the earth. Cain was afraid that whoever found him would kill him. But God placed a sign upon Cain so that no one would kill him. Even in judgment, God's mercy remained. The story of Cain and Abel teaches us that God sees what is inside our hearts. Jealousy, anger, hatred, and pride can grow into terrible sin when we refuse to turn away from them. Cain was warned before he acted. Sin was waiting at the door, but he chose not to master it. And the voice of Abel's blood cried out from the earth. The story reminds us that every human life is precious before God, and it asks every generation the same question: where is your brother? The answer is not simply that we know where he is. We are called to care for him. Genesis 4:9, "Am I my brother's keeper?"